Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. What if AI wasn't just a tool we use, but a part of who we are, literally inside our brains? That is the incredible and, yeah, kind of terrifying future we are diving into today, all guided by a fantastic paper from Professor Park Hyoungbin of Seoul National University of Education called Neuralink and Artificial Intelligence Ethics. Right off the bat, this is the core idea that kicks off Professor Park's entire analysis. I mean, it's a huge leap, isn't it? We're talking about going from AI that lives on our phones and in servers to a future where technology and humanity could merge in the most intimate way you can possibly imagine. So before we can really get a handle on the stakes of putting AI in our heads, we got to be on the same page about what AI even is. Professor Park takes us back to its official birthday, you could say, the 1956 Dartmouth Conference. The basic mission then is pretty much the same as it is now. Can we create machines that do things that up until now required human intelligence? Now, this is crucial. Not all AI is the same. Building on the work of philosopher John Searle, Professor Park really stresses this vital difference. On one hand, you've got weak AI. That's the AI we all use every single day. Your voice assistant, the app that tags your photos, it's a genius at one specific job. But on the other side, that's the holy grail, strong AI, or AGI, a machine that could actually understand, learn, and think just like a person. But here's the catch that Professor Park brings up. Before we can even fantasize about putting a perfect, conscious AI in our heads, we have a massive problem with the AI we're using right now. It turns out our machines are learning from us, including all of our worst habits. And this isn't some far-off theoretical problem. As the research from Seoul National University of Education points out, this is happening right now, today. AI that's trained on our own biased historical data isn't just copying our inequalities, it's putting them on steroids in really critical areas like policing, hiring, and even who gets approved for a loan. This forces us to ask one of the deepest, most difficult questions in the entire field, and it's a question Professor Park's paper really dives into. If our current AI can't even be consistently fair, how could we ever teach it to be good? I mean, how on earth do you program a conscience? Well, to even try and answer that, the paper introduces this framework from philosopher James H. Moore. Think of it like a ladder for artificial morality. Right now, we're basically on the bottom rung, making impact agents, machines whose actions just have an ethical consequence. But the goal, way up at the top, is a full agent, a machine that can make and truly justify its own moral choices. That is a huge leap. And this is where the whole conversation pivots. Professor Park shows that the goal isn't just about building smarter machines out there. The next big frontier is about using this tech to fundamentally upgrade ourselves. That's the core idea of transhumanism, using technology to push past our biological limits. And this, right here, brings us to the centerpiece of the paper, Neuralink. Suddenly, this isn't science fiction anymore. A real-world brain-computer interface takes all those philosophical debates about AI and identity and makes them urgent, practical problems that we have to solve, like yesterday. So what are these new ethical minefields we're about to walk into? Well, Professor Park's research pinpoints these 5 massive areas. Who owns the data from your own thoughts? If an implant can nudge your decisions, are you still really you? And what happens to society when some people can afford to be enhanced and others can't? These are the enormous questions on this new frontier. And listen, this is not just theory. The paper highlights this absolutely chilling report from a patient with a deep brain stimulator that just cuts right to the heart of the identity problem. They said, "I'm not sure who I am anymore." When technology can literally rewrite your personality, it shakes the very foundation of your sense of self. Okay, so how do we navigate this? Professor Park doesn't just leave us with the problems. The paper actually proposes a way forward. The argument is that we need to be proactive. We need global rules. Think international treaties for this neurotech, kind of like what we have for chemical weapons. And for the engineers actually building this future, there's a call for a Hippocratic oath for AI, a promise to do no harm baked into their education from day one. And that really gets to the ultimate takeaway from Professor Park's entire analysis. This isn't about stopping progress. It's about consciously and very carefully guiding it to make sure that as we build this incredible new age of AI, we protect the very essence of what it means to be human. And so, this deep dive from Professor Park Hyoungbin leaves us with this final, profound question. As we stand on the threshold of an era where technology is no longer just in our hands, but potentially inside our heads, this is the challenge we all need to start thinking about.